The year is 1980, the second Saturday in July, the day of the Durham Miners' Gala. That is gala, not gala to the uninitiated. The gala is the annual gathering associated with the county's coal mining heritage and the miners' trade unionism. Also known as the Big Meeting, its highlight is the colliery banners accompanied by brass bands being marched to the old racecourse, where political speeches are delivered. And in the afternoon, a miners' service is held in Durham Cathedral. Traditionally, banners were draped in black cloth when there had been a death at the pit, and on significant anniversaries of disasters. 1980 was no exception, as it was the centenary of the 1880 Seaham Colliery, the Nack pit disaster, the setting for our play. No pits remain in Durham, but despite this, the gala continues. Seated round a kitchen table of the time, a group of friends, miners' wives all, are planning their day, while their men are at the gala.
I don't know, Margaret. These men, what are they like, them and their precious gala?
Aye, now, Bella. For all the same, it's important the lads in the union keep going with the likes of the gala. It's tradition, going back years.
It might be tradition, but it's all right for them tacking off to Durham on the beer all day. I was going to go to town and get some groceries and a new coat on ticket Joblin's.
Ah, nah. Why don't we mack a David? The men's out gallivanting, there's no bairns to watch. We could catch a bus to Park Lane from the cosy bank and all have a look round Joblin's.
Why not? They'll be full of beer by the time we get back from Durham. Aye, and full of hell from listening to Arthur bloody Scar.
And likely as not, when they get back, they'll go and strike the Nack Club for the dominoes.
Why don't we splash out and have a bite to eat? Louis in Park Lane.
I'm up for that. What about you girls? We'll have a day in Sunderland while the men are in Durham.
Grand idea. We'll all go. Did any of you read the Echo last night? I mentioned the 1880 disaster and the colliery band playing Gresford, the miners' hymn, outside the Nack Club before they went to Durham.
I went out early this morning when I heard the colliery band playing. Oh, there was dozens of bands all dancing and carrying on. Oh, it was grand to see. But as soon as they started to play Gresford, they all just stopped and stood and listened. Mind you, all the lads missed it. They're all in the bar having a liquid breakfast before they got on the coach.
Oh, it was really sad though when they unfurled the colliery banner and draped it in black. The lads from the union said they were going to carry it round Durham with a black cloth draped over it because of the disaster.
Margaret, you had somebody killed in the disaster, didn't you?
Oh, aye, two of them apparently. James McLaughlin married to my great-aunt Isabella, and Michael Smith married to my other great-aunt. My mum always said that's where my name came from. I was named after the Smith side of the family.
Oh, it must have been awful for them. All them men and boys killed, and all the wives and mothers. All them years ago.
Yes, and some of the poor buggers were left to rot before they got them out.
Aye, and how many sea folk do you not pays any attention to the memorial at Christ Church these days?
Aye, nobody takes a blind bit of notice, especially the young uns.
Yeah, Margaret, didn't I hear once that you had something from the disaster? Some sort of memento or something?
Oh, aye, Kitty, I have. It's in the closet somewhere. We used to have it on the shelf over there for years, but it got put away and forgotten about. Hold on, I'll see if I can go and find it.
Margaret, what's that? It looks like an old pit what a bottle our lad used to use.
Aye, it's got the date scratched into it and some words.
Look, September 1880. Well, I never. And what's that say?
The 10 years from 1870 to 1880 saw new empires and new wars in Europe and Asia. The United States was recovering from the American Civil War, and it was a time of discovery and innovation. At the same time, it was 10 years of heartbreak for the people of Seaham. No sooner was one tragedy over, another began. There was an explosion at Seaham Colliery on Wednesday, October the 25th, 1871, with 26 men and boys killed. Shortly after the blast, the the manager, Mr. Dakers, went down the pit to assess the situation. He made a gruesome decision some people thought of as murder. He decided to erect barriers to starve the fire of oxygen, to save the pit, irrespective of the men still entombed. Only 4 bodies were brought out immediately. The remaining 22 were not recovered until December the 20th. It was a decision that we faced again. Just as the village began to recover from the 1871 tragedy, it was struck by an outbreak of smallpox. The following year, there was a terrible storm, and 6 Seaham-based ships were lost with all hands. 6 months later on, a boat accident took the lives of 5 more men, just a few yards from the end of the pier. The very next year, Seaham's troubles continued with the 1874 parliamentary election. There were ugly scenes in the village because none of the Seaham miners had the vote. The Riot Act was read, extra police were drafted, and soldiers were summoned from their Sunderland barracks. A crowd attacked the Mill Inn pub. The landlord was under siege, and several shots were fired.
The end of the decade calmed down somewhat, and in the sweltering hot August of 1880, the folks of Seaham had good reason to celebrate when the Seaham Volunteer Artillery Brigade distinguished itself in gunnery at the National Artillery Competition. The team were welcomed back to Seaham as heroes, and Corporal Heinsohn, a Seaham colliery miner and winner of the Queen's Prize, was carried shoulder high through the town. But the celebrations didn't last, and Corporal Heinsohn was soon carried shoulder high once again, but for a very different reason.
Will you not settle down? The bed's tired and needs to rest. Just had your gobs a lot, I'll put you on to bed.
Oh. It'll be alright, Tinny. Don't worry. The fresh air had done the bairn good.
Thanks, Mum. That was the best day ever. But don't worry, I feel fine. I'm getting better all the time.
There you go, Margaret. I tell you, we're turning the corner. Things can only get better from now on. I tell you, things are looking up.
Things are looking up indeed. Getting better. Now you can just hush up and be quiet. That's the beer you're talking. Just how many did you and your mama have today to drink in the Mill Inn?
Oh, come on, Margaret. We only had a couple. Just like you and my good wife ordered us.
Excuse me? You can add your gob. You're as bad as each other, you two. I didn't know.
Come on, sweetheart. Let's get you to bed.
Oh, Mum. Do I have to? Not yet. Just 5 more minutes. I haven't seen my dad for days because of his shifts at the pit. Just 5 more minutes, eh?
Go on, love. 5 more minutes won't hurt.
Oh, all right. But 5 minutes and no more, right?
Thanks, Mum.
Hey, man, Bella, that was a grand day, wasn't it? All them people waving flags in the van playing in the car.
Aye, it was that. And what about that Tommy Heinsohn getting carried through the streets like that? I'm surprised they didn't drop him while that beer flowing.
Aye, it was a sight to see. But you've got to admit, it's really put Seaham on the map. Been all the papers. Yes. Corporal Thomas Heinsohn, a Seaham colliery miner, wins the Queen's Prize for shooting at the National Shooting Competition.
Give out your daft so-and-so. Here, come rest your bones.
Here, Michael. I hear Tommy Hutchinson's croissants will tax some beating at the whole show.
Oh, aye.
You and your precious flower show. I don't know. Grown men arguing how we can grow the best pansies.
Away. The flower show's important.
Oh, give out your daft lump. I'm only teasing. Away, Bella. Gives a hand putting our little flowers to bed.
It was a canny show.
They're good, those croissants, mate.
Aye.
Good old Tommy Hutchinson.
Aye.
Oh.
Night, Dad.
Good night.
Night, Dad.
Night. You ever fancied it? Flower show?
Nah, my veg are never up to scratch. Yours are canny, like.
Not too bad.
Aye.
Not as good as those, though.
You might have a chance one year. Maybe.
How is he? Has he settled?
Aye, he's settled and gone straight to sleep. The poor mite's shattered and I don't care if he's breathing. He's bouting and rasping like an old man.
That'll be all the excitement. It'll be canny after a good night's sleep. Just wait and see, eh?
I'm not so sure, Bella. I'm so worried about him. He's so weak and he's only a bear and I just feel so useless.
I know he's not well, Pet, but with God's good grace he'll pull through. And I'm sorry. I should listen to you earlier. You're right, he's only femmer, and I should
Oh,
have...
hush now, didn't go well, sorry.
It's these bloody houses, that's what it is. It's no wonder the bairns are badly with all sorts of ailments. There's poor Johnny's bairn. They laid that mite to rest not 3 weeks ago. I'm sorry. I didn't mean...
It's alright, James. I know.
I remember when I was a young'un in Tyrone, all them years ago, I didn't know how my mum and dad got us through the Great Famine. Now that life was hard, but here in Seaham's a damn sight better than it was in Ireland, I can tell you.
Aye, and it's 2 top coats warmer over here than in Whitehaven, when me and Bella settled when we first came over.
You're right.
Aye.
I remember when we first came across the water. I couldn't settle, it was all strange.
I especially remember I couldn't get to sleep at night, and I remembered this song my ma used to sing to us every night when we were bairns. I used to sing the same song to our little ones when they wouldn't settle.
Well, how are Bella? Sing it for us now, why don't you, eh?
No, I couldn't, Margaret. I've never sang it for years. I don't think I remember the words.
Oh, that's sweet, Bella. The words to that song you always sing when you're doing the washing? Are them the words you cannot remember?
Maybe later, but not the night, eh?
It's alright, Pet. Another time, as you say. It's a lovely song all the same. I remember my own mother singing it.
Here, listen to this. It says here, that Charles Montague Doughty's travelled through Arabia. He's living with the Bedouin tribes, whoever they are. He's writing a book.
Well, I'm sure that's all well and good, and I'm sure he's a lovely gentleman. But what's that got to do with us?
I'm just saying. It's interesting, that's all. Living here in Seaham, we didn't see the off. Must be people from England gone all over the world. I'm just saying. It's interesting, that's all.
Oh, it's all very interesting. But how's that going to help us with the bairns, eh? The army's marching all over the world and you're still working at the Knack. Now that's interesting.
Aye, right, Bella. We'll have to be making tracks soon. Got a shift to think about the night before I think out what else.
Oh, go on, stop a while longer. We've got plenty of time before we go to the pit.
Aye, okay.
Michael, do you have to go? Can you not just take a couple of days off when our little Michael's so poorly?
Oh, wait, man, how many times? You know as well as me, I can't afford to miss a single shift. Never mind 2 or 3. It's awful having to leave you and the bairn when he's like that, but...
Oh, not to worry, the pair of you, I'm sure he'll be fine. Ben's catch all sorts at his age.
I'm not so sure, Bella. He's always been a sickly bairn since the day he was born. But Michael's right, stop a while longer, eh?
Of course we will, Pet. There's plenty of time before these two have to get ready for the pit.
Go on, stop a while longer.
Aye, why not? These two have got plenty to natter about.
You know, right. Do you fancy a swift off? We've got a jug of youngers from the mill in earlier. Keep them cold in the scullery.
Aye, get on that, hit the spot.
It'd be just awful if our Michael had to go into the infirmary. I just couldn't stand it.
I know, but if he does, they'll have everything the bear needs. Just wait and see what the doctor says next week, eh?
There you go, Mara. Get that down you there.
To good health.
Get another early start.
Oh, I know.
So,
How much more I can take, man,
I know.
honestly.
I know, but James, you and me both know. They're robbing us blind. We only make a pittance a day as it is. Good almighty. We're just about able to feed the bairns as it is.
Michael, mind your language.
I'm sorry, Pet, but the buggers...
Michael, please, we've got guests. Sorry, Bella.
Oh, don't worry, Pet. James is his bad. He can turn the air blue sometimes. Men. Never mind, we'll get a bit of peace and quiet when they're down the pit. I swear all the light when they're down there.
I'm sorry, Pet. You're right. But it boils me blood. They keep telling us things are going to get better. You seen any sign of that? London, Derry and his lot. I'll swing for them, I will. If things don't change, we're all going to end up in the workhouse.
You're right, Mara, you're right. But what can we do? I mean, the union's doing its best. But the coal owners have got their Tories in their pockets and having a reach struggle. If Londonderry got his way, he'd be sending the candy men to evict the union men again.
Now look at what you have done. I hope you're satisfied. Never mind, Margaret. We'll get by. We always do, don't we, eh?
I'm sorry. It's just with the burn and everything, I'm sorry.
Don't be daft, lass. How are you? You look like you do cheering up a bit. How are you, James? Give us one of your songs.
Aye.
What, now?
Aye, James, now.
Alright then. But hang on, Hinny. I'll need to wet me whistle with another drop of Michael's fine ale first.
Why? There you go.
Cheers. Well now, ladies and gentlemen, with your kind permission, I'd like to entertain you in this fine abode with a little ditty. Sorry, do you mind, Margaret? I wouldn't want to upset you or disturb the bairns.
Oh no, get on, James. Bella's right. We can all do with cheering up. No more politics or crime. We've had enough of that, so we have.
Aye, James. You're a long time deed. Give us a song. We're not one of them you were singing in the snug at the mill t'other night. You got us all barred.
James, I've told you 100 times, them songs have no place in a decent...
A little ditty we all know. So you can all join in? Michael, would you care to accompany me on the spoons?
My pleasure.
One, two, three, four.
Go on,
Spoiling my
James.
fun.
You've earned your beer.
Come on, pet. It's getting late. Time we're making tracks and letting these good people have some peace and quiet, eh?
Aye, as usual, we've overstayed our welcome.
Ah, don't be daft. It's been lovely. And thanks for everything.
I'll give you a knock later on, Mara.
Aye.
When they practice our song and dance routine on the way to the pit.
Good idea.
Anna, even give the lads in the Maudlin a free show, eh?
Aye.
See you later,
So,
Mara.
yeah,
Oh, I bet.
tidied up.
Oh, wait, pet. Let's chat on the bed before we turn in, eh?
I'll be along in a minute. You get to bed, you need your rest. There are days that I wish for a garden so green, for a sweet Irish sky on a soft summer's day, for a great golden shore, for to wrap me in, and a fine wooden boat to take me away. Oh, sometimes I wish that I was a child, once more in the arms of my mother dear, back at home on the fields of my youngest days, far away from the cold and the hard life here. Oh, I wish in vain for a life of ease, for the warmth of a fire, with no fear how to pay, for my children to go warm shod in the snow, and my husband to live by my side all the day. For I've traveled so far from my father's home, far over the sea, to a land so hard, to a house so dark, and a life so drear, with not sight of a bird in the cold backyard. There are days that I wish for a garden so green, for a sweet Irish sky on a soft summer's day, for a great golden shore, for to wrap me in, and a fine wooden boat to take me away. Oh, sometimes I wish for a garden so green, for a sweet Irish sky on a soft summer's day, for a great golden shore, for to wrap me in, and a fine wooden boat to take me away.
Calendar was Seaham's annual flower show, to be held in the grounds of Seaham Hall from Thursday, September the 9th to Sunday the 12th. The Marquis himself was to present the prizes. As it turned out, he was to stay for a good deal longer than he anticipated. Many miners at Seaham Colliery had plants entered into the show, and some of those men swapped shifts with those who weren't bothered about the flower show. It proved to be a fateful decision for those who ended up working, when ordinarily they would have been at home, asleep.
Rick, what time is it? We might as well have our bait here before that bloody deputy pipes up again.
Oh, wait, James. He's not that bad. He's better than that bugger Murray in the third. I wouldn't want to work in this district again. He's a right tartar, he is. But you're right about bait. It's 2 o'clock. We better have it now. We'll not get another chance.
Mind you, you're right about that bugger Murray. He's master shifter now. I think the power's gone to his head. Aye. We're far better here in the Maudlin, away from his ranting and raving.
Aye. He was back by now, having a go at some poor bugger.
Aye.
He sent a putter out by with a gun and a couple of chummins the other day to fetch some gear in by. Couldn't believe it. He went after him to make sure he picked up the right gear. You should have seen him gun. His Davy lamp was swinging, he was cussing and ranting as he went.
Rick, you got any of them black bullets left?
You know I have, you greedy bugger. I'll give you one at your bait. Have you heard about your old mate, Mick Smith? I hear his little one's in a bad way.
Aye. I was round his house earlier. I saw him at bank waiting for the cage. I asked after the bane. He didn't really say much. Couldn't really talk about it, I suppose. We had a worried look about him. He's working out by. You might get a chance to ask him at Low's.
Aye. And his missus must be fine by the end of her tether.
Aye.
There's no worse than your bairn's being bad and there's no you can do about it.
Alright, Jack.
There you go.
Oh, sit down and get the black.
Oh, bit time, is it?
Aye.
Well, go on, I'll join you for a bit and have a minute, eh?
Where you gone? I thought you weren't in by when you shot fire.
Aye, I was. But he must have had a few too many at the mill end because he sent us out by for more stemming off the maester shifter. That sod's got plenty, really.
Aye.
Just think he wanted to get his heat down for a bit, you know. But I tell you what, looked rough, man, did it?
I didn't, nah. Drink the 4 gallon down the pit, eh? You wouldn't catch us doing that.
Oh, no. You're matting gum, James. You stunk like the brewery in the cage. Anyway, talking about drink. Do you about old Davy Stevenson from the 5 quarter?
No.
I reckon he was in a reach state the other night.
Isn't he always, eh?
He'd spent the night doing Adam and Eve's doing the ding.
Aye.
And when they kicked him out, he couldn't. What the hell was that?
Christ! The pitch fired! Oh, God! Oh, no. It can't be. Can it?
Shut up, James. Stop your whining. Can't be that bad. I'm still here, aren't we? Anyway, sounded like it was way out by to me. Must have been a bad shot fire, that's all.
Oh, it's the pit, I tell you. It's the pit. It's gone up. It's fired. Didn't I tell you it would go up again? It's only 9 years since the last one.
Aye! He's right, lad. It's gone up. But it was out by. Must have been out by.
Aye. Can't be that bad. Bloody hell.
That was a close one, eh? For a minute I thought we were in bother.
Hang on a minute. Listen. There's somebody coming.
Yeah.
There, look. Oh, thank God for that.
Mickey,
Yeah, right.
What's happened? For God's sake. What's up? It's gone up. The pit's fired.
I was just matting my way up by. I'd had enough. I had to gang him to see Margaret in the bed. I couldn't stand it anymore. Just had to see her last in the bed. Then it just happened. It's bloody awful. I think I got away lightly enough. But I could see some of the poor buggers out by being blown all over the place. There were gallows falling all over. One of them knocked us off my feet. Next thing I know, I found myself falling on. I come in here and I heard your voices.
Oh, I tell you, I knew we'd get him again. The bloody owners didn't give a tuppence for us. As long as they get their big profits to pay for their grand houses.
Shut up, James! You're not helping. Are you hurt anywhere, Mick?
No, I'm not hurt. But my chest's wheezing. We all the cold dust chucked up being blessed. You haven't got a drop of water, have you?
Here you go, Mara. Take a sip. Whoa! Canny there, Bonnie lad. Take your time, you have to be thrown up and that'll do you any good at all.
Aye, sorry, Mar. It's just me chest. Burning up inside.
All right, lads. Wait here, I'm going to have a look and see what's what.
Right. Dear me. Margaret. What am I going to do? You know, Michael's so poorly. Should be in the end with him. Margaret asked us not to go to work today. But no. I said I can. I just want to listen.
Don't worry. Be alright. You'll see them both soon enough. We'll be out in any time. Just wait and see.
Hey, good, Rick. The gate's blocked. There's no way we can get Downcast from here. I've checked where it run, Mara. We're stuck. Good and proper. We just have to wait for them up on that roadway and dip us out.
Can it be that bad? We can start digging this side and see how far we get. We've got to try.
Believe us, I've tried! I've tried knocking on the stone and support, but there's an out. God knows how far the fall comes. I don't want to upset the others, you know, and there's another thing.
All right, Mara. You might as well tell us. We're all in this together now.
The road out by is blocked with a massive fall and I couldn't hear a sound. I know we're a dread, but now not a thing.
Well, Mara, spit it out. You might as well tell us.
On the way back and by, I checked the stockings, doors and crossings. All along the intake they were blaring in. There's no way out. Rick, it's the air. The air should be moving up the gate, but there's now coming down the gate. There's no wind. There's no way we can get the Hutton or the Downcast shaft from here. We're stuck in the morning. We can't even get in a stapple. You know what that means, don't you? It means the stike will be getting worse if there's no wind to shift.
All right, Mara. Wait a minute. We'll just have to wait.
We'll just have to know, Rick. I'm sorry, Rick. It's alright, Mara. I know you're just doing what you think's best for us and all that. But we better make the best of it. I know for one, I need to make peace with the Almighty. Just in case. My mother always said, when you're in trouble, son, make your peace with the Lord and all will be right. Aye. She was a church lass and a really clever woman, my mother.
same. I can't stop thinking about that bloody Londonderry and his mates. Living in places like the Hall. Every bloody luxury. And us. Screaming and living down here. Down here in the bowels of the earth without the old Nick for company. It's not right, I tell you. It's not right.
Aye. It's a sobering thought, James. I'm like Londonderry, with everything they could ever want. And us, down here, bringing our backs to provide. Gets any better. You know, this country's sending people all over the world. You see it in all the papers. I read in the Weekly News just the other day that it's a time of great modernism. Modernism. Whatever the hell that means. It said Britain's paving the way in the advance of science and exploration. Paving the way. I ask you. But the bloody coal owners still only pay us 4 shillings and twopence a day, and if they had their own way, they'd cut it even there. Aye. It's criminal, Mara. That's what it is. It's criminal.
You're right, Rick. You're right, Mara. It's not that long since the Londonderry had his Candymen of it and the strikers in Seaham. Saw them myself. They didn't have any principles. They just ignored the cries of the women and children, you know. Had no effect on them whatsoever.
Aye. All I want to do is have a decent day's pay for a decent day's work. And can you with the wife and bed. And look after me vegetables and flowers in me garden. It's not how much to ask, is it?
Aye, why? That's it then. I'm never going to see Margaret or the Bairns again. Especially old Michael. It's all over for us, lads. Let's face it. It's near here. We're not going to last long, are we?
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, and we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
Oh, Rick. Sing that song. You know, that old one. Something about Black Eye. Canny Black Eye. Canny Black Eye. Oh, wait.
I'll agree with you. You're mat and gone. A song. No. With all this going on.
One gone down on me, Mara. Oh, wait. We've said our prayers. I think we could all do with a little song. Hey?
All right. All right. Yours. We was out one night doing the Adam Eve, and the coppers come in, said we had to leave, so we blocked all the windows and they didn't ask why. And he in the kitty had a canny black eye. Got a lang paddy with Pip and the Mora, got a lang paddy and never see it die. Got a lang paddy with Pip and the Mora, and he in the kitty had a canny black eye. We was up one night doing the yard milling, and maybe Natty Tommy wouldn't let us all in, so we grabbed us some bottles and we all let fly. And in the kitty had a canny black eye. Got a lang paddy with Pip and the Mora, got a lang paddy and never see it die. Got a lang paddy with Pip and the Mora, and he in the kitty had a canny black eye. We was up one night doing the no and soccer was all gone and the place was dark, so we grabbed us a barrel and we drank it dry, and he in the kitty had a canny black eye. Got a land paddy where Pittman and the Murray, got a land paddy and never say die. Got a land paddy where Pittman and the Murray, and he in the kitty had a canny black eye. Got a land paddy where Pittman and the Murray, got a land paddy and never say die. Got a lamb paddy where Pittman and the Murray, and he in the kitty had a canny black eye. Jack, have you got that bit of chalk on you?
The explosion on Wednesday, the 8th of September 1880, took place at 2:20 in the morning in the Hutton and Magdalen seams, the middle of the three levels at the pit. Both shafts were blocked with debris, and it was 12 hours before anyone could get down there. The main rescue work was conducted from the high colliery shaft, where the rescuers had to use an emergency kibble, an iron bucket, to go up and down. The low colliery cage was unusable for the next 9 days. As the rescuers fought their way into the pit, they found debris and mutilated corpses. Body after body was found in the dark, forbidding roadways. 19 survivors from the main coal seam were found and brought up to the low colliery shaft, which hadn't been blocked. 48 more survivors were eventually brought out this way.
Has barely been 10 years since the last time we stood here, with our hopes and our fears and our children's tears. We see that nothing's changed. So we stand and wait for news in the darkness and the rain, and the same old word that we've always heard is again, again, again. It has barely been 10 years since the last time we stood with our hopes and our fears, with our hopes and our fears and our cheers. That nothing's changed, that nothing's changed. So we stand and wait for, we stand and wait for the darkness and the darkness and the same old word and the same old word that we've always heard is again, again, again.
I heard the noise at Seaham Hall. Most disconcerting. I believe I was one of the first on the scene. Don't worry so, Stratton, don't you know. Let it be stated at once that no imputation has been or could be cast upon your management of my colliery.
Thank you, your lordship. That's most reassuring. However, my only thoughts are for the poor souls underground. I can't imagine what they're going through. I've been down there with the early rescue teams, and it's a dreadful situation. It's...
Yes, that's all very well, Stratton, but Mr. Bell, You've had several hours to appraise the situation. As government inspector, what would be your judgment on this most grave situation?
Well, your lordship, the information we have is rather inconsistent, but the most reliable reports seem to indicate the explosion occurring in the middle level, into which the effects seem to have been confined. This level is worked in 3 districts, as indicated on this sketch. That is an accurate summation, Mr. Stratton, is it not?
Yes, sir, you're quite correct. The district consists of workings to the sub-ward in the number 1 hut and seam here. The second consists of workings to the west ward in the number 3 hut and here. The third consists of workings to the Magdalen seam, which is on the same level on the other side of the fault shown there. These 3 districts appear to have been violently affected by the explosion.
Yes, but what of the rescue and recovery operations? Are you able to save my colliery?
Your lordship?
The rescue, Stratton, are you able to save those poor devils down below and recover my colliery? It's a straightforward question, is it not, man?
My lord, permit me to explain.
Yes, that would be most enlightening. I mean, please do.
The explosion wrecked the shafts, and the rescue parties has been directed from the high colliery, where we've only been able to lower a kibble due to the cages, of course, being out of action. However, it took 12 hours to reach this position.
Yes, I see. Yes, please continue, yes.
The first brave volunteers descended the pit by this route and began clearing the debris. But unfortunately, it is anticipated that the low colliery cages will remain out of action for a number of days and will not be able to effect rescue from this pit to the districts below. With the force of the explosion and the extensive damage to the shafts, it was first believed that every soul in the pit must have perished.
Yes, but what news of any survivors?
We managed to restore some of the ventilation and clear some of the debris. The first rescue team managed to raise 3 men to the ground to the surface around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The second team managed to raise another 3 around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, with 11 more awaiting the turn at the shaft bottom.
If I may interrupt, your lordship, most of the men brought to Bang seem none the worse for their temporary confinement, although naturally alarmed and shaken. The men who've been withdrawn, the rescue party sent down refreshments for those waiting at the shaft bottom, and apparently they seem to be waiting patiently for their turn to be taken up.
Yes, sir. And all the witnesses so far agree, and the evidence is strong to suggest that the explosion occurred in one or other of the main intake galleries near the shaft, and not in the return airways as you'd expect. The whole of the rest of the intakes were greatly damaged and disturbed, and the violence appears to have spread far beyond the area as shown in the sketch.
Good God, that much destruction? We must do something, surely. We must recover my colliery.
The engine house and stables have caught fire. Many of the ponies were found with suffocated.
Yes, we never mind the damned horses, Stratton. What about the rescue? What is it, man? Come on, spit it out.
Of the 231 men and boys underground, only 30 have so far been rescued. It is...
30? Is that all?
Yes, sir. It's thought that some 169 were working in the affected district at the time of the explosion.
30? I mean, are you certain?
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, the rescue teams have been hampered by fallen stones and secondary fires which need extinguishing before they can move into the affected workings.
I'm afraid, Sir Stratton suggests, your lordship, we've accounted for 67 men and boys. With every expectation by midnight we'll have them brought to the surface. We must trust in the rescue parties and pray for those yet to be saved.
Absolutely, yes.
Of the 231 workers underground at the time of the explosion, only 67 had been rescued by midnight of the first day, leaving 164 unaccounted for. None of these survived. Some 169 men and boys had been working in the affected seam, and only 5 of these were rescued. As news of the disaster spread, all of the roads into Seaham became completely jammed by crowds. The flower show was cancelled, but trains from Sunderland to bring visitors to the show were instead packed with ghastly spectators. The families of the dead or missing were unable to get anywhere near the pit. The crowd round the pit reached an estimated 14,000 by the evening of the first day. By Sunday, there were 40,000 people crowding to see the first mass burials. After the first funerals, interest waned and the crowds drifted away. The bereaved families were finally left alone to grieve. The families of the missing miners waited for news, any news of their loved ones.
Yes? Who the devil are you?
Ralph? What on earth? It's all right, man. Don't look so concerned. How are you feeling? You've had a particularly trying day.
Thank you, Mr. Stratton. I'm doing all right, sir. Thanks very much for asking.
Ralph, what's going on? I mean, who is this Stratton?
That's all right, Marley. I'll explain. This brave fellow is Ralph Marley, sir. Mr. Marley is one of your Hutton Seam deputies, sir, and he was underground at the time of the explosion. He was one of the first men to reach the shaft, but he sent several other men to the surface before being forced to bank by the rescue teams.
Oh, yes, most commendable, Marley, yes, most commendable, yes, yes.
Yes, your lordship. And he, Mr. Marley, after only a brief rest, volunteered to lead the first rescue teams down into the pit. We should all be very grateful for his efforts and extremely proud of his exemplary behaviour.
Begging your pardon, Mr. Stratton, sir, if I might. I'm very grateful for your kind words, sir, but some of the women, the wives and mothers of them still in the pit, sir, they're right worried. They've asked if they can have a word. Some of them can't even get to the pit gates for all them buggers. Begging your pardon, sir.
That's quite all right, Marley.
Yes, your lordship. It's Marley. But if you please, sir, I'm not in the habit of addressing such as your lordship, and I'm just a bit nervous, sir, that's all.
Ralph, there's no need to be nervous. You've done sterling work and served Lord Londonderry very well. So tell me, what is it? You mentioned the women folk. What of them?
Aye, sir. It's the women. I'd like to have a word about the men. They're men, still underground, sir. They're at their wits' end. They don't know what's going on. There's all sorts of rumours flying about.
Where are these women, Marley?
They're at the pit gates, sir. They've had the devil of a job to get that far with all them crowds, but they've asked if they can have a word. All I'm saying is, sir, it wouldn't do any harm. It might put their minds at rest if you let them know that we're doing all we can. From the horse's mouth, if you like, sir, with all due respect.
Stratton, what on earth is going on? For God's sake, man, we can't possibly speak to this rabble. Delegation.
Thank you, Mr. Marley. I'm sure you've got better things to do than stand around listening to us. Please go back to the women folk and let them know that his lordship will consider their request, and I'll let you know very shortly. Oh, and Mr. Marley, thank you again, and be assured I will let you know very shortly.
Stratton, what on earth were you thinking, letting such a rabble address his lordship? You cannot be serious. It's out of the question.
Calm yourself, Bell. Calm yourself. Don't be so hasty. Perhaps Stratton has something. My agents tell me that the standing of the Vane Tempest family here at Seaham at the moment is, well, shall we say, less than wholesome. Perhaps I should meet with these women to demonstrate an understanding of our common purpose. Yes, by Jove, I've decided. I will. Stratton, make the arrangements. But be warned, I don't want to come into close proximity with these people, and certainly not with any distance of any potential handshake. I mean, God forbid. Well, come on, man, see to it at once.
Sir.
Your lordship, we have news of the Magdalen Seam.
What is it now, Bell? Don't look so grave, man. Could there be any worse news? My pit's blown up. I mean, God knows what it's going to cost me. What is it now? Out with it, man. Come on.
As you know, sir, I was underground some hours ago, and the rescue operation seemed to be making some progress.
Yes, well, what news from the Magdalen?
It's the Magdalen Seam, sir.
Yes, I'm well aware it's the Magdalen Seam, Bell. You've just said so. What's the matter, man? Cat got your tongue?
It's caught fire again.
Well, that's good news, isn't it?
The men underground are of the opinion that the only way to starve off the fires, seal off the district.
That's good news. What are you not telling me?
There are 28 men still unaccounted for in the modern seam. The rescue teams have been unable to reach them.
I beg your pardon? Are you absolutely certain? We must do something, surely.
I'm afraid not, sir. They've done anything that was humanly possible. I'm afraid it's a case of sealing off the district or losing the entire pit.
What
It's
about
our
when
only option.
What when the Times hears of this, eh? What are the families there at the gates? What are they going to think of me when we tell them we've buried their men and boys, eh? Answer me that. Good God, we've just sent Stratton to fetch them. You must stop him. I couldn't possibly
I'm afraid
think of
it's too late for that, sir.
My lord, Mr. Bell, may I present these ladies who represent the wives and the mothers of those still awaiting the news of their men and boys still underground. They are most distressed, as you can see, but they've asked, with your kind permission, if they may address your lordship to... I'm sorry, ladies, can you please excuse us for a moment?
No! I'm sorry, Mr. Stratton, but we never thought we'd get this far, and we're not leaving now, sir. With all due respect, sir, your lordship, we've been at them pit gates now for ages, and we're leaving further forward. We need to know what's happening with our men and boys. When are they going to be brought out the pit? That's all I want to know, Mr. Stratton. It's not that much to ask, is it, sir?
Mr. Bell, what is it, sir? What has changed since I left this office?
Not here, not now, Stratton.
Begging your pardon, sir, but we're not leaving. Not till we know what's going on with our men and boys. We need to know what's going on.
We'll wait all night.
Mr. Bell, what is it, sir? What has changed? You may as well tell them. We're all in this together now. They're going to find out soon enough.
Very well, Stratton, but on your head be it. The rescue teams have tried everything, but the Magdalen seam has caught fire again. All hope of reaching the trapped men seems to be lost. You must understand, we must save the pit. The men coordinating rescue, Stratton, you know them. They wouldn't take such a momentous decision lightly. You must understand, surely you do.
What decision?
It's the Magdalen, Stratton. It's caught fire again. And the managers underground have the opinion that the only way to save the pit is to seal the district off immediately. It's our only option. You must see that. We must act now and save the pit.
What's he mean, Mr. Stratton, seal it off? What's that mean?
They're going to close it up. Starve the fire of oxygen to kill it. Yes, I'm afraid so. How many?
We must pray for their souls.
How many?
There are 28 in the Magdalen seam still unaccounted for.
What do you mean it's near an option? What about the promises you made? What about the old men and boys? You can't just abandon them. Please say you're going to get them out. Say something, your lordship, please. We're begging you, please. Please, please.
God have mercy on their souls, and God have mercy on us.
The families of the entombed miners were horrified at the decision because they still clung to the irrational hope that their men and boys were still alive. Yet the decision was still taken, and rescue teams sealed off the fire and the remaining 28 miners' bodies. The seam was not reopened until the following June, when breathing equipment was available to the rescue teams. And the last of the bodies was not recovered until a year after the explosion.
What the hell do you want with a bit of chalk, Rick? Never mind. Here you can.
I want to leave a message, Jack. I want them to know we survived the pit firing. I want them to know we didn't give up. I just want them to know, that's all.
I know, Mara, I know. But you better hurry up. That lamp's getting pretty low. There can't be much oil left now.
Didn't think it's the oil, Jack. It's the air. It's turning bad. There's no oxygen. The state's getting pretty bad.
Bloody hell, there. What a cannon on it. Didn't suppose we'll have much longer when the leak comes out.
Aye. That's why I have to leave a message. I've got to let our last know. Five o'clock. We have been praying to God. The Lord has been with us. We are all ready for heaven. Bless the Lord. We have had a jolly prayer meeting. Every man. Ready. For glory. Praise the Lord. I'll sign it our call and put all our names on it. What do you think, Jack?
Lovely words, Mara. Really beautiful. At least our kinfolks and now we made our peace with God before we can. I only hope they find it. Give them something at least, eh?
Jack.
Aye.
Jack.
What is it, my idea or something?
No. I'm sorry, Mara. It's just... Have you still got that water bottle on you?
Didn't be daft. We emptied it ages ago, remember?
I know. It's the bottle I went. I'll let leave Margaret a message. I found an old nail. Thought I could scratch a message into your tin bottle. I just kinda can't without letting her know I was thinking of her in the bed, so I just can't. There's the bottle, Mara.
There you go, Mara. Margaret will take some comfort in that. Give the bairns something to remember you by too.
Dear Margaret. There was 4 of us all together at 7 a.m. Some was singing hymns. But my thoughts were on my little Michael. That him and I would meet in heaven at the same time. Dear wife, God save you and the children. And pray for me. Dear wife, farewell. My final thoughts are about you and the children. Be sure and learn the children to pray for me. What an awful position we're in. Michael Smith. '54 Henry Street.
I don't suppose we'll get to see the flower show now, eh?
Aye. I had 2 Bob Nicholson's beating Tommy Hutchinson's as well. Never mind, eh?
Tommy Hutchinson. He'd have taken some beating. His garden's immaculate. Tommy Hutchinson? Wasn't he in the 71 disaster?
Aye, he was right enough. He's young and died in the explosion. I only hope Tommy got out of this one. Poor bugger's gone through enough.
James! James! You alright, buddy? You've not said no for ages. You're not getting soft on us, are you?
No. No, Rick. I'm alright. Just been thinking, that's all.
Oh, wait, Mara. You gonna share with us what's kept you quiet for so long? Normally kind of shut you up.
Well, y'all know what I think of Londonderry and his lot. I've always said, I hate them and their type. But I'd give out just to be with them now. I'd even make a deal with old Nick himself right now if I could. Just to get us all out of here. So I would.
You haven't gone tempering. Not now. Not old Nick, for God's sake.
Aye, you're right, Mark. I should be thinking our lass. Not chewing myself out of them thieving bunch of... Never mind her. I wonder how they're doing. The women. I mean, can it be easy for them? They must be frantic with worry.
Aye. You're not wrong. I wonder how old Michael's doing. I hope he's alright. But I know what you mean. I'd give out to see Ben well and good again. Well, and to see all that smile again.
Bloody hell. We're in the clods good and proper this time. It's all the fault of them. Them! What's the point? I'm sorry, lads. I just can't get Londonderry and he's penny pinching out me head. It's just not fair.
I'm right to end you there, Mara. But if the worst comes, and it looks like it will, I only hope the union looks after them women and children. We've paid our dues long enough.
You know, read what you said earlier.
Where'd that come from? What did I say earlier?
You know, about us sending people all over the world. About Britain paving the way in science and exploring. You know, you stop and think about it. We've got the best industry in the world. We're the most powerful country in the world. The biggest empire the world's ever known. We're protected to be the world's best navy. But here we are, all the same. Bloody coal owners pay us a pittance. And everyone, I know, live a little more than hovels. You're right, James. You're right, Mara. It's criminal. That's what it is. It's criminal.
Aye. But Crichton's gonna do us no good now. God's bless. We'll see. We'll see.
The saddest of coincidences, Michael Smith's son, young Michael, died on the same day as the disaster. The bottle Big Michael inscribed survives to this day in the hands of a descendant. 164 men and boys were dead. Every single street in the village lost at least 2 men or boys. Some of the bodies were recovered fairly quickly. The rest were only recovered after long and painful delays. The miners in the part of the pit that caught the full force of the explosion appeared to have been killed instantly. Those furthest from the shaft had lived on. Many bodies were unscathed.
There is evidence that some of the miners left behind survived in air pockets for hours, sometimes even for days. They all eventually died from suffocation as the air ran out. Notes were discovered on bodies. Messages were found on wood and other materials. One such message, found on a piece of brattice board, a wooden board about 2.5 feet long, was found with the names of the men on one side, and on the other, a message written in chalk.